everyone, and welcome to the Net Saviors podcast. I'm your host, Adell. And with me is a... No, shut up!
Okay.
And with me is a man who has invested heavily in the Razer products recently. MegaMasterX.
Hello, Adell. How are you? I own 2 of them.
Hey, that's 2 more than me.
Understandable.
We all about that Steel Series Logitech life.
I used to be a Logitech guy. I don't know what happened.
I like their mice. They're pretty. I don't like their keyboards. I like their mice.
I don't know. I had a G15 for about 8 years, and it did... I still have it, actually. It's still fully functional.
I'm all about that G502.
It's
garbage weights.
I mean, yeah, it's true. So,
hell yeah.
Adell, what do we have on deck today?
Yeah, let's keep it nice, quick, because this is gonna be an awful episode. Today, we're gonna be covering Battle Network 5, Team Protoman, Team Colonel, and Double Team DS.
We have to.
Unfortunately, these are entries in a series that we so love, and it's just...
I understand.
It's like when you talk about .hack and you're forced to bring up GU. You don't want to, but you have to.
But you use the... Okay. All right. Whoa now. Let's not get hasty with this.
Easy.
Okay.
It's like where you start off and you have, liminality and...
IMOQ.
and sign. And then you'd be like, oh, and then GU.
Yeah. Well, GU was like... I don't know. GU, I think, was designed to be... Anyway, this isn't the G.hack podcast.
It could be.
It could be.
It's all the same world.
I could talk... Well, I mean, I could talk about .hack for hours, but let's talk about Battle Network 5.
But the SAO.hack crossover.
No. Just no.
It's the best thing.
So, Adell, Battle Network 5 introduced a lot of very... It kind of I feel like Battle Network 5 is the damage control entry of the series. Because...
For the best-selling entry of the series?
Well, I mean, Battle Network 4 was not very well critically acclaimed. It sold extremely well. And Battle Network 5 kind of came in on the curtails of the anime series that had just come to a close. Or no, Access had just started airing for a very short time, at least in the United States. It did not finish its airing on most of the children's stations in the US. But Battle Network 5 kind of came in at the tail end of that. It's reinforced because the Battle Network 5 Team Colonel and Team Protoman actually came with a battle chip in the games. When you bought them retail, it came with a lightning chip, I believe, in Team Colonel... No, it came with a Lightning in Team Protoman, Meteors in Team Colonel.
Yes.
And,
I have those ships still.
Yeah, I do too. And, I guess it was to kind of play into the merchandising momentum that had been built up from, Mega Man and Team Warrior and Battle Network 4. And the game itself kind of, I feel, mirrors that, because BN4 was a big departure from the series. It kind of broke a lot of the story-driven molds in favor of a not very well storytelling game.
Nope. The story was actually really bad in 5.
It was. But I mean, among the first thing it did really well is it did some more stuff with the battle mechanics.
Here and there, it definitely polished what began in 4.
It did. Especially in terms of changing the way that Mega Man transforms and progresses as the game goes on. Of course, Dark Chips make a resurgence here, and to be clear, and obviously we're just going to put it here, this episode is going to contain some spoilers, so if you've not played the Battle Network 5 installment, you're going to get spoiled, so you can either pause it here or come back after you finish it. I do recommend playing it at least once.
I don't.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I recommend suffering through it at least once.
There you go.
To get an idea of...
All 3 entries.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves on that one.
No. You gotta play Protoman, Colonel, and then Double Team DS so you can play it all over again, but this time with Team Navies.
Well, DTDS is the definitive edition of both of them. It is. But...
Coward.
I mean, you could end up saving at least $8 at current market value by getting Double Team DS instead of the GBA games.
You could just spend 1 whole yen and get yourself a copy of Battleship Challenge.
You're not wrong. But
the good game.
So the battle system in Battle.net 5, it brought dark chips back because those were a key mechanic. We all know.
Story, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the dark chips that you had to choose from in Battle.net 5 were about par for the course to 4. They were pretty close to the same. A few new ones I think came in, did they?
I believe so. I'm trying to think. It was. Let's just find out real quick.
To the great Google machine.
Dark chips, Battle Network 5. Wow, that was hard.
Essentially, well, I don't know. Do we consider the Navi chips, the DS versions, dark chips? I think so.
I mean, you can only use them when you're Dark Chaos Unison.
So there's Dark Sword, Dark Tornado, Dark Circle, Dark Meteor, Thunder, Recovery, Sound, Invis, Plus, Lance, Drill, and Wide. Of course, as per Battle Network 4, if you use a dark chip, you permanently lose 1 hit point, and it can only go down to 1. So it's still got that. It did some other stuff in terms of Mega Man's transformations in Chaos Unisons.
Yeah, so these are, I guess, the interesting part of a way to use dark chips. So instead of using just the dark chip, becoming Dark Mega Man, all that garbage, you double soul with it, get a dark version of that type of unison. So like if you use the number 1, you are dark number for a turn, 1 whole turn. And I don't think you can increase it, even with the soul time plus 1.
I don't believe so.
Okay. And what this does is it gives you a different power from your normal one. So, like, let's say, what is it? With Proto... what does Proto Man do in this? Like, what does Proto Soul do?
It changes your charge shot to a wide sword.
Okay, and this, it changes it to the Dark Sword.
Yeah.
Which is a life sword size, 400 damage. It's really dumb. But there's a downside to this. And it's, if you have to charge up to get this out, and it fluctuates hard. If you mess up, you lose the Chaos Unison, and you have to fight a Dark Soul version of yourself, as well as your opponent. And, yeah. So it was a big, high risk, high reward kind of thing. But if you master it, you kind of poop on everything, especially with Dark Invis.
Yeah, I mean, so with Chaos Unison, your charge shot is an empowered version of that soul-specific charge shot. There's a sphere that comes up and pulses yellow and green that you have to match the timing for. If you miss the timing...
No!
If you miss the timing, your Dark Soul goes to your opponent's side of the field and fights you.
Yes.
Using random dark chips. It can use any of them.
Yeah.
It's
pretty tough, actually.
Yeah, it lasts for 13 seconds or until the battle ends, so it's kind of just it's not very easy, so...
Not a good round.
No.
Isn't there... What was it? I think Midge showed it off. It was that Infinite Vulcan thing with it? With the magma seed?
I'm not familiar with that.
It was something like... I'm trying to remember it. It's where he forced the Dark Soul onto the other side of the field, and then he goes Napalm Soul, sucks up the magma squares, and then Infinite Vulcans, and it's just like this amazing amount of damage.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that, actually.
Yeah.
It was nothing short of incredible. It was definitely play of the game.
Okay.
So, yeah, speaking of souls, so we kind of jumped right into it, curtailing off of Dark Chips. But there's also Double Souls.
New Souls.
Yeah, Double Soul comes back. They did not depart from it in this one. They still got rid of style changes. Style changes are never coming back. But I will say that the souls in Battle Network 5 were actually really well designed, in my opinion.
I could agree to that.
The charge shots were all very, very unique in their own way. They really sort of like honed in on elements. It feels like a more refined version of Battle Network 4's Double Soul. Considerably so. You still have to sacrifice a chip. It still lasts a certain number of turns. You can increase the number of turns that you're in Double Soul with the Navi Customizer part. And yeah, so that's on that.
You get a max turn, or rather, you get a minimum turn, I should say, of 3. You can increase those with a Navi customizer part that gives you 1 turn per. And there's just like, it's a lot of nice options.
It is.
It kind of, the one thing I didn't like, and I know it's so that you have to buy both versions, but I kind of hated that you couldn't cross over in some sort of way. But I guess certain souls would break the other ones completely in-game.
I agree. That's... I mean, I agree that it isn't really right that they can't cross over easily. I mean, I guess... I don't know if it's due to, like, marketing limitations or game limitations, because both of those are
I'm sure it's marketing.
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
But then they made Double Team DS, and it's like, well, wait, they're both here. Why can't I just... Okay.
Yeah, it's... Well, I mean, you get the team system, so it's kind of not... I don't know.
But, so in this one, we... Who do we have in 4?
In 4?
Yeah, 4 double souls. Hey. Alright, let's see. Check it. So, in 4, you had Fire, Guts, Roll, Wind, Thunder, Surge, Aqua, Number, Metal, Wood, Junk, Proto. This time, only, I think, 2 come? Yeah, only 2. No, 3 come back.
Yep.
So this time we have Knight, Shadow, Tomahawk, Number, Toad, Colonel, Magnet, Gyro, Napalm, Search, Medi, and Proto.
So there's 6 Navis that you can double soul with in each installment, which is nothing to shake a stick at. That's actually a pretty decent... I mean, there were 6 in Battle Network 4 as well. But it really drove home, like, the difference in between the versions for the souls that you have access to is...
definitely.
It's pretty big.
So, I'll say it, I wish they hadn't brought Tomahawk Man back for 6. I know we're not on 6, but man, every time I see Tomahawk Soul, it's like, Tomahawk Cross.
Especially because in Battle Network 5, he grass stages when you cross in to Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Which I guess is good, but...
Super Armor and I'm recovering? Come on, man.
Not to mention his Chaos Soul is Dark Lance.
Oh, and I'm status guarded.
Oh yeah, he has status guarded in 5 as well. Huh.
Literally the best cross in the League of Legends.
Oh, man.
Woohoo!
But yeah, so, realistically, I feel like obtaining, and this kind of plays into the story, which we'll talk about a little later, but I feel like the method in which you obtain the double souls throughout Battle Network 5, both Team Protoman and Colonel, are kind of just shoehorned in. They don't feel, I guess, organic.
No, I get what you're saying, because all it is, and the whole, okay, so let's use this segue as well. The whole shtick of 5 with the story is, Regal's still around, he's making more dark chips, and he wants to make darkness incarnate as the form of Nebula Grey, and so darkness is spreading throughout the net, so Team Protoman and Team Colonel split off, and they go fight it, and you meet these Navis along the way, and that's how you get their souls.
Yeah.
But it's not a natural it doesn't feel like a natural progression. You're literally just, oh, okay, well, we're here on the stage. I am Shadow Man. Hello? How's it going, man? I haven't seen you since 2. Yeah, move, kid. Watch this. Steps over dark panels. Like, that's it. And that's the other really big focal point of 5 is those liberation missions, which I'm really on the fence about. I want to like them because they're a nice, refreshing thing, but they take so damn long. And the payoff is not worth it.
It really isn't. If you take a step back and just really look subjectively at it, it's not worth it.
No. The one thing I did like, though, is the designs changed depending on, like, where you were. So, you had your regular sorties, but then if they were in the dark areas, they became like these gigantic, menacing stories. They had like really big enemies in this.
Not to mention...
And
sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, and they're just really, really annoying to fight. But I like that they looked like these warped, demented versions. It was kind of cool.
You also kind of had this interesting mode, and this plays into what we're about to talk in next a little bit, but it can happen during regular random encounters, but there's a unique way that you can have virus enemies on both sides of you, and Mega Man starts the battle in the middle of the field. And you use the left and right trigger in order to basically change Mega Man's facing direction. When you couple that with those bigger enemies, it gets to be, in some instances, pretty overwhelming.
Some could say chaotic.
Ah.
Woo! But yeah. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention one thing about the mechanics in this one. This is the game that limited 1 PA per battle.
Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. I mean...
Yeah.
It just... Why? It logically does not make absolutely any sense, especially because the program advances in Battle Network 5 are actually pretty cool.
Choose wisely.
Football.
Oh wait, that's not cool at all. Yeah, I remember I was fighting mid, and I pulled the second life sword, and I was like, hey, wait, it's not working.
Yeah, you can't...
And I completely forgot about that.
It's worth noting that you can't use the same program advance in a battle, but you can use different program advances.
Well, no, it's only 1 PA, isn't it? Folder limiting 1 PA per battle? I think you can only actually pull off one program advance.
Yes, that is correct.
That sucks.
It's dumb. Logically, there's nothing to back that up. It doesn't make sense, but...
No.
I was going to say, like, speaking about the chip library, we were kind of talking before the show about this a little bit. And I feel like in regards to the chip library, there were a lot of unique chips. Of course, they followed the whole chips based off of viruses you encounter, as they always do. I feel like that they decided to forsake a lot of the previous installment staples in favor of these new chips that really didn't have very good synergy. There was not a lot of good code synergy either in Battle Network 5.
Yeah, there was. It was called S.
S code is basically the only code because the chips there are just so disgustingly strong.
It also has the most navies.
It does, which is, I don't know, it feels just like a bad balance oversight on Capcom's part, honestly. But I like the direction they went. They tried a bunch of different unique chips with a bunch of interesting mechanics and ways that they interact with one another. But at the same time, like, it just feels foreign compared to all the installments.
Are you telling me things like Aqua Whirl and Scully and Hot Body? What else? Moonblade.
Yep.
Are you telling me these felt forced and contrived? Cactus Ball, Electric Reel. I didn't like Pulsar.
Pulsar was not enjoyable. I mean, I don't know. It sort of... the whole thing just seems kind of overwhelming in a way.
Wood Nose.
Yeah, like what? Bamboo Side. Wasn't Side Bamboo in this one? No.
It was in 4 as well.
That was in 4.
Yeah, I liked Side Bamboo though. That was like, hey Lance, Side Bamboo.
Psych, that's the wrong bamboo.
Boy Bomb.
I mean, shout out to Eurasia. Boy Bomb is best bomb.
It is best bomb.
It's like they set a boy bomb sets the bomb on the field and Backstreet Boys starts blaring at it.
Oh my god. So one thing, but like S is the best code. You have, I'm gonna count through these real quick. Just Navi chips. So you get Shade Man, Lark Man. Yeah, we know that. Spoilers, it's Swallow Man in Japan. So you get those two, Search Man, Shadow Man, and is that it? Is it just 4?
I believe so, yeah.
That's still pretty good. And then there's the SP, there's the DS. We'll get into that in a second, but it's just like a lot. And then a lot of the best stuff is in S as well. There's no reason not to run it.
There's really not. And, I mean, even on the topic of the chip library, even the Giga chips are really just not exciting in BN5. In Proto Man, you get Delta Ray, Big Hook, Base, Holy Dream, and Bug Curse, and Death Phoenix. And in Kernel, you get Cross Divide, Meteor Knuckle, Base Annihilation, Omega Rocket, Bug Charge, and Phoenix.
I thought it was base anomaly.
Is it anomaly, annihilation, anomaly?
Well, that's why it has a Y,
anally?
right? Base anally.
Oh my god. I wasn't gonna say it, but...
I'll say it. The last two you mentioned, Phoenix and Death Phoenix, that's the Dual Masters one, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice. Nice. This game was nothing but marketing.
Not to mention...
In fact, this game came out around the time of the movie, right?
It did.
Yeah.
It was...
Oh, Double Team DS did.
Double teamed, yeah.
Okay.
It pretty much was a big marketing play. But what else did BN5... Like, I don't know. I feel like we've kind of said everything there is to say about it.
That's so sad. I feel like this is that weird last hurrah to BN3 and prior games, like chips rather. Because I'm looking through this library, it has stuff from 4, you get like the Buster Up, you got Blinders, but then you have North Wind, you have Metagel, you have stuff like that.
Different get-ons that do different things.
Yeah. It's also had the most seeds, actually. It had Lava Seed, Sea Seed, Ice Seed, and Grass Seed.
Yep, that is correct.
I don't know. You also had still like Quake. Like, that's what I'm saying. You had like this really weird in-between. It was kind of nice.
You could do Mom Quake in here.
Oh, that's right. That's the ones I did like. So the bombs, right? So instead of just doing like, what was it? It was just it had the mini bomb. And you had like the bigger bombs I threw in a cross or a line, right?
Yeah.
So instead they did crack bomb, which cracks 3 squares ahead, right? That's fine. Then you have paralysis bomb. Then you have reset bomb, which is, I think that reduces your power or something like that, which is kind of cool. And bug bombs as well. Oh man, you still have black bombs in this? Oh.
Yeah.
Rip.
I think that it was... Again, like going back to what we had mentioned previously, I really feel like Capcom was still kind of feeling out where the boundaries of where they could go in terms of battle, like, uniqueness was. And I think this is the installment where they figured out, hey, throwing projectiles is not fun gameplay. It's actually ridiculously hard to use them. It's good for viruses, but even Navi battles, PvP, anywhere else where it actually counts, they're not good. They're really not.
I'll say one of the chips I love the design of and use of the best is the custom vault.
I do agree with that.
I thought that was actually really, because all I had before was the custom sword, and it's like, oh, here's custom vault. What? That's cool. Like, more stuff like that. Interactivity is what really pulls you into certain chips.
Yeah.
That and they're just busted. And then you have crap like Rainy Day. I forgot this was a chip. Why is there... It rains down on enemy area for 40 damage. Who cares? It's not good.
I mean, Snake is still in here.
Yeah, but Snake got nerfed to hell and back, though.
It had to. Battle Network 3 Snake was just... No.
The best?
It was the best.
I agree. But yeah, like, this was like a really weird in-between. Again, a lot of nice old chips. A lot of interesting new chips, and then a lot of garbage in between. Why are there 3 time bombs still? 6 did it right. They have 1 time bomb.
Yeah.
As it should be.
I feel like there are a disgusting amount of mega chips in this game.
Yeah, because they, woohoo!
I mean,
I don't know.
We've still got, we've got Poltergeist, Jealousy. Like, I don't understand why Poltergeist is in here. I mean, there are a lot of chips that put objects on the field, granted, like the Apple family, the generic rock cube, you've got boy bombs. Wood nose. You've got tons of stuff that you can put on the field, but realistically...
Wait, Poltergeist is in here?
Yeah, Poltergeist.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, look at that. Because I got rid of Junk Soul.
They did.
That's what the whole point of it was. Junk Soul was just Poltergeist in soul form. I like Poltergeist, though. Like, I think that's where we might differ. I like the idea of litter the field, throw it at my opponent, as opposed to, nowadays, it's what? You put the voodoo doll down and haha, you hit it, dum-dum.
Get wrecked. It's well, I mean, it's the same thing with Guardian on that front too. Like, just eat 200 damage, rip Life Aura.
Best stage. Start with 2 Guardians.
Oh god, that reminds me of the Battle Network 3 random stage where you get the flags on the triple battle. And there's just like edges, and you just gotta hit the flag. It's just a pain.
Dude, I hated those flags.
It was like a soft damage judge. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it isn't really necessarily the non-Navi mega chips that are the problem. It actually is the Navi chips. Because there are so many net Navis in Battle Network 5.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Not to mention there's no EXs. There's no... They got rid of the versions from 3.
Thank God.
And yeah, but instead they've got DS, SP, and the normal version of the Navis, not only for the Navis that you encounter and can double soul with, but for every single one of the enemies.
Yes.
So we're talking, it's just a crazy flood of mega chips that you have access to, and you can only use 5. Unless you use a Navi Cus part. And none of them are, like I said previously, none of them are in code. Because the game is basically alphabet soup. So, I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't really feel like they put a lot of thought into balancing this game. It was kind of an afterthought, and I'm not entirely sure why. We do know that they were supposed to have wireless adapter support in Battle Network 5, but that was cut.
There are almost 80 Navi chips in this game.
That is insane. Wait, does that count the secret chips?
No.
Yeah, because I mean those are mega chips as well.
Oh yeah, huh? I was just counting Navis. I didn't count all the mega chips.
Yeah, it's.
If you do that, you're let's see, 60. Okay, add another of that. Add another of that. That's oh lord, 90 more.
It's pushing 100.
It's pushing 100.
And to be honest, I think that's probably one of the biggest glaring issues with Battle Network 5, in my opinion, is such a core game mechanic of this game is fundamentally flawed, and that's the chip library. Bad codes, flooded mega
it's
chips.
saturated.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I
Battle Network 5's library is like the lawbreakers of today.
Fair. Yeah, that's...
Oh, I just said that.
Yeah, you did. You did.
It's true. You can't just be like, we're putting out another shooter. Man, you picked like the worst time. But no, it is extremely. And then half of them aren't even good because you have the regular ones for the Navis. Why would you use those? They're weak.
All of them.
You can actually just use SP and DS because you can do Chaos Unison in battle with no repercussions, and then use the Dark Chips
without any penalty. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
By the way, that's the thing we forgot to mention.
yeah.
I don't know what SP stands for, but I know the DS stands for Dark Soul.
It does.
So you got like Cosmo Man SP, Cosmo Man DS. SP cannot be used by Dark Mega Man. I don't think. I never tried. But DS can't be used by regular Mega Man. It has to be used by Chaos Unison.
Doesn't DS's attack power vary depending on
how fast you beat it?
How fast you do? Yeah, okay.
They power up by the amount of times you flinch in battle.
Are you serious?
That's what it says. See, this is like one of those weird times. Like I never really paid it because I only used SP.
Yeah,
because I was a child.
Yeah. Well, no one can figure out how DS chips work, so that's so weird.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, or flinch rather. Every time, as the battle progresses, roll DS attacks increases by 5 points every time Mega Man is hit with an attack, making the maximum attack of roll DS 80.
Ugh.
Roll and roll SP, and those chips absorb holy panels on your side of the field, increase the attack by 5 per panel. Yeah, that's the weird thing about Battle Network 5 too. There's a lot of hidden secrets. I didn't know that she absorbed holy panels for more power. Yeah.
Alright, ready to count it down?
Yeah, why not?
3, 2, 1. See, there's a lot of chips that have some kind of auxiliary mechanics and things like that, and I think DS is one of them that's kind of undersung.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, what do the DS chips do though? How do that
okay
work?
So apparently when every time you are hit with an attack during that battle, which means that you want to make this a late game strategy, it powers up your Dark Soul chips by 5 per attack you've been hit with. So you get hit a lot, and then you hit them back with full force when you go Chaos Unison. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then... But then, I don't know. It's like, why wouldn't you just use SP? You wouldn't have to eat as much dirt for it.
Not to mention you don't have to laser focus on getting Chaos Unison out in order to use a chip in your folder.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
Again, this feels like kind of one of those things that they put in a parking lot area during a meeting in design. And then they were like, you know what? We're running low on features. We need something to make this exciting. And then the intern was like, I've got an idea. And then they put in DS chips.
How awful.
I'm sure that intern got fired.
I hope they burned.
That's
to the ground.
Excessive, but...
Just poof.
Just self-immolation by... Who was the game director on this? Was it?
An awful person.
What? Anyway.
Oh, final thing for all this stuff. Apparently dark chips were changed in this as well. It goes from unlimited to being 4 to 3 per folder.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, not dark chips. Like, they changed the dark chips around, but in general, you can only have 3 chips per folder.
Which that
kind of thing.
I don't know. That kind of plays in again to why would anyone build a strategy around Chaos Unison? I mean, a lot of Japanese competitive players did back when it was current. Like, yeah. I think the meta was pretty much Chaos Unison is the only way to be be and
I've seen enough videos.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Although I will say, there are some nutty battles, nutty Japanese battles in BN5. That doesn't make it better.
All right.
Yeah. So what other features in Battle Network 5 were there, Adell?
None. All right.
Okay.
That wraps up this episode. What else was there? Well, you had the... I guess the gate functions? I know that's your forte there.
It is. So yeah, I mean, those were, of course, after Battle Network 4, they were removed from all of the international releases, but the Progress PET, sorry Midnight, please don't kill me. The Progress Pet is probably one of my favorite pets. And the Progress Gate probably looks the best. It's one of the rarer chip gates, in my opinion. The Progress chips are absolutely enormous. Yes. They're also incredibly rare. But you know, you said earlier, speaking of this, while I'm thinking about it, you said that BN5 was pretty much the marketing game, right?
Yeah, because it came out with the movie that showed off the Progress Pet. It showed off everything. It even had that stupid add-on that gives you like different stuff on the pet, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so like and it was stupid little things. Like they gave Proto Man the little accessory where it's like, oh, this just lets you grip it better, and then Search Man got, oh, this one lets you focus a little better.
Yeah,
and
Search Man got the AT scope. I think Lan got, I feel like, I can't remember if it was the HP grip or the twin grip. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, like this whole thing from the movie to even the anime, it just seemed like a lot of product placement.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, so there was one.
But it looked the best. I think we can agree. The Progress Pet looked the actual best.
It did, and it's the most fun, by far, because it has an RPG minigame where you walk around on the internet and encounter viruses. Instead of having to break your arm shaking the toy, you can just encounter viruses normally.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lan and Chaw got the Operate Sticks, and Rika got the Search Scouter.
Ah, I see.
And then Raul has the Electric Twin Grip.
That makes sense.
God.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, I don't know.
But anyway, tell me more about this, because like this is one of those things that does tie in. I guess we could do an episode on like the toys, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I think that would be pretty good. Because there's a lot to talk about with those in terms of like timelines, the Advanced Pet 2. We could do a whole episode on the toy lines and merchandise. I think that's actually not a bad idea. But for right now, let's stick back. Let's loop back to BN5. Before we jump into the story, because there's a lot to unpack with the story. There was one other feature that was included into the game. It was a core game mechanic. What is that mechanic, Adell?
Liberation missions.
Are you cursing on this podcast? Do we have to, like, raise the rating? Because that's a curse word to me.
Man, I'm just so melancholy towards this thing. What else is there? There's, trying to remember.
No, that's...
BN5 is one of those things I pushed out of my head.
It is. I mean, it's not...
Because this game released, like, right after Katrina, so this is, like, actually a rough time for me to remember.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a bad thing to associate with a bad game. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like a double whammy. Let me pick it up for you then, because I don't want you. I don't want you to relive your horror days. PTSD. It's okay though. We'll get through it. So yeah, liberation missions. So this was Capcom's attempt again to sort of infuse something else. Now, bearing in mind that Mega Man Battle Network inherently is kind of already a strategy card battle RPG, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's put a turn-based RTS in this bastard. And that's exactly what liberation missions were. So, in certain areas, and again, like, that story section is going to be fun. The liberation missions, you basically had a Navi that took over a part of the internet, and you and your crack team of net Navis with certain abilities had to go and overturn panels and defeat viruses and liberate the area from the control of the enemy Navi.
It was lazy.
It was extremely
lazy and contrived. Instead of it being an interesting thing of how the net Navi took over the area, like, even in 1, Iceman has frozen the waterworks, so now you have to traverse an ice stage. Plantman has taken over the hospital. Okay, now you have to find the chips to do energy change and then burn up all the vines in the network. This is, Cloudman is here. Well, what does he do? He's over there. Cross these panels.
I can't.
It's Blizzard Man. Well, what does he do? He's over there. Cross these panels.
I will say that the very first instance that, like, right before the Liberation mission is there, right as Lan joins Team Colonel or Team Proto Man, I will say that felt pretty good in terms of, like, story pacing and things like that. Because it was new. It was a new concept. It was foreign. And, like, the net got dark red. And it was just, like, this giant door that you had to break down. And then you get in there and you just, like, you liberate the area. And you feel great. And then it just happens over and over again. Like, every scenario, I'm like, all right, when's the next Liberation mission gonna come here, Blizzard Man? Oh boy, it was not exciting after that first time. I felt like it was the Battle Network equivalent of filler episodes.
Ooh, you're not wrong. That's the worst part.
Yeah,
not even wrong.
It was a giant time waster.
It was, and again, instead of it being an interesting way to encounter your enemy, to go through stages, to explore, and the net was huge in this. And it was fantastic. It was colorful, it was vibrant, it was really nice, but why would you take away from a uniqueness of something like Cosmo Man? Something different would have been nice. Put his ass on a satellite.
Wave on.
God. Not even wrong, that's the wrong part. But just more than, he is in this area of the net with dark panels surrounding him.
Hello. There is a gimmick that you have to engage with. But you don't know a Navi that can help you yet. Jack out. Let's go find generic character here, who happens to have generic Navi here, who can just help us because he's at the right place at the right time. And this isn't even a one-off thing. It's constant. Throughout both installments.
This is how you meet your double souls. This is how you progress the story.
I don't know. I think altogether, Battle Network 5, if someone asked me to do an elevator pitch description of BN5, I would say BN5 is Capcom overextending very heavily. It almost seems like they rushed development on it. It's just that it's not normal. I want to know what happened. Something had to have happened. Because this game tries to do way too much and succeeds at none of it.
I'm trying to see who is the man in charge of this garbage. Who is my director here?
Okay, cool.
And Inafune was the producer, of course, as he always is. Eguchi was a writer. But so is Takanaka?
Yeah, Takanaka's a writer. Now, I will say that the story, like, if you take Liberation missions out of Battle Network 5, it's not a horrible story.
It's a very generic story, but it's not horrible, you're right.
Because, like, the idea, alright, so, you know what, I mean, we're basically in our story bit now, but at the beginning of BN5, like, as we said previously, Regal comes back, and he effectively sleeping gases everybody and steals their pets. Which is really smart, because that effectively removes the threats that, you know, he knows about, that he basically got them out of the way. But of course, Lan was conveniently off to the side, and he didn't get hit.
Of course.
But it's...
Why would he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean... I don't know. It just felt like they went way too many directions with it.
Yeah, no, instead of there being like one focus thing of, World 3 is going to do this. Gospel is going to do this. Now it's Regal is going to do this, and he's also doing this. He also has Dark Blades. There's also just a regular Dark Mega. There's also...
You know...
It's like, wait, no, and they don't link together properly.
No.
And it feels bad.
Like at the end of the game with SoulNet. Okay, that idea was really, really good. A network that connects the souls of humanity. And
I feel like the movie did it better.
Yeah, it did. It really did. But I mean, it could have been so much. I'm just so disappointed.
Yeah, no. Definitely. Like, what was the point of the ending? He wanted to do the whole thing with the human soul and then infect it with darkness and rule over it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's effectively it. In a volcano, no less, because that's a great place to put a network server, right?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It'll never overheat.
Alright, so let's brush through the story real quick. Basically, it's apparently 1 month after BN4, in which Regal now grows this like really good looking facial hair. He's gone full evil. It's obvious now. Bad guys infiltrate places. They steal your dad.
Oh yeah.
Steal PETs. Liberation mission. Meet people, liberation mission. Beat up Shade Man again, liberation mission.
Jack into the squirrel, because that's what it takes.
Yes. Mega Man kidnapped. Dark Mega Man comes out, liberation mission.
That was a good part. I will say that the way that they did Dark Mega was actually pretty good. Because it kind of played into Regal having, like, throwing the kitchen sink to get to his goals. Coincidentally, I mean, losing Mega Man was also a really good idea, and you take control of your particular version's team leader, so Proto-Man or Colonel, and that part of the game is really nice, because you get this, throughout all these installments of the game, you get an attachment to Mega Man. Like, when he, where was it that he... No, it was here, yeah, you, like, it did a really good job of delivering that feeling that you lost Mega Man, like, he's legit gone.
Too bad the end of 3 happened.
I mean, yeah, but...
Too bad they play with our heartstrings.
They did. And, I mean, that just makes the fact that 5 is a giant disappointment even worse. Anyway, what else do we got?
Well, anyway, they steal him, you get control of that, they pull Dark Mega Man out, liberation mission. You get Chaos Unison because of that, which is interesting. You need another team member. that happens. Liberation mission.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the story, like there's that high point that you just mentioned, and the rest is just like blah 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 liberation mission, blah 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 liberation mission. Fight Nebula Gray. Friendship wins. What's interesting though about Nebula Gray is he's not the true final boss.
Oh no.
And that's the one thing I really liked about this. So I'm trying to remember how you access it, but depending on, I think, is it the time? Yeah, it's the times you get when you beat the Dark Soul Navis. Nebula Gray will change. I know the final form. I can't remember what's in between. Trying to remember. It's Nebula Gray.
Chaos Lord.
Chaos Lord, yes. And then he's got a bunch of different forms. So he has Gray, Gray Alpha, Gray Beta, Gray Omega. And it goes from 2,000 to 4,000 HP, which is nuts.
Crazy. Especially because of the attacks that Nebula Gray does. I think Nebula Gray is probably one of the most exciting end boss fights.
Yes. But, wait, no, so, okay. So it's Nebula Gray, Chaos Lord, which is base, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you get the true final boss, it's Dark Mega Man.
Yes, but you have to beat all of the 6 Dark Soul Navis within, what was it, 2 minutes?
Something like that, yeah. It's nuts, like, but the final fight for it is really fun. So, Oh, and spoilers, Regal is Wily's son.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't know if I like that, actually.
Yeah,
because Wily had like these entirely different ambitions, and Regal's like, the darkness within our heart of hearts. I don't know. It didn't match up with how Wily did things, which I assumed. I don't know. They both had an eyepiece.
Oh yeah, they did.
There you go. That's oh, and also Regal becomes a good guy at the end.
We thought that at Battle.net 4 as well.
Well, no. We thought he was good at the start.
Oh yeah, like SoulNet crashes and he's like, "Oh, I'm suddenly good." Like,
yeah, but he is good now. He's like, "Oh, the brainwashing that Wily put over me is gone." It's like, really, and it's never mentioned again. The end.
Yeah, I don't know. Why would Wily brainwash his own? I don't know. It's.
Why did he brainwash our guy, Barrel?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Anyway. On the bright side, you don't have to play through the game multiple times. In order to get all the content. Thank God.
Yeah. The post-game's real whatever. Again, it's just beating the Dark Soul Navis, getting everything, going through the Undernet. Which, again, I like the design of everywhere. The Undernet in here is kind of boring, though.
It is.
If I remember, it's the static background?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that the areas are really well put together because the color palettes that they use are really the biggest determining factors between the areas. You can tell pretty much what area you're in based on the color palette. The Orion area is like a dark orange, and end area is like yellow and dark gray, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to watch Capcom like slowly evolve into their final product, essentially. Like, they start off with this, I'm gonna say it, Battle Network 1 was kind of bland.
It was.
2 got a little better, 3 definitely took off, 4 skyrocketed, and 5 is almost the epitome, and 6 is just, you can easily tell where you are in 6. Everything is just its own thing, but that's for another episode. Yeah, no. I could honestly complain about a few more things, mechanic-wise, because this game introduced a lot of annoying things, like the pills.
Oh, yeah. Although White Pill carried over to 6, and I'm okay with that, but...
Yeah, White Pill's one thing, but this one... Medi-Soul. And I feel like a lot of the souls weren't even that good.
They really weren't, honestly.
I hate to say it like that.
It's true. I mean, of course, both versions have their good souls and their bad ones, but like Proto-Man's, none of those souls are good. Like Search Soul is probably the best one.
You think so? That's it? I mean, Gyro Soul powers up your stuff.
Yeah, but the Charge Shot is garbage.
Yes, it is.
And
yes,
there are not a lot of wind chips to take advantage of.
No, there's not. It's amazing. They oversaturated with chips. They barely gave wind any love.
I mean,
but you're right. Search Soul is the best because it gets rid of invisibility. It gives you Search Shuffle. And then, of course, you have Medi Soul, which is real whatever. Like, it's got the pills, which are annoying, but
Nothing is
Proto Soul, Gyro Soul, it's cool that you can non-dimming wind chips, make your propeller spin, they double the damage. That's cool, okay. Magnet Soul, real whatever. Back B will freeze all enemies the same row as Mega Man.
Yeah, no, that's not... No, just not.
But then you go to Team Colonel. You have Night Soul. You are invincible when using a battle chip on your front row.
Which is insane.
Yes. Shadow Soul. You get anti-damage and float shoes. And charging a non-dimming sword chip, you execute the attack on the nearest enemy from behind. From behind. Also, you move slightly faster, apparently.
Only slightly.
Yeah. Tomahawk Soul, which is good.
This is
You
good.
heal. It turns your thing into grass. You heal. You get status guard. You just no one cares about Number Soul. It looks cool, but Number Soul is the one garbage one. Toad Soul's amazing. You hide in C panels.
Yeah.
You can't be hit. There's a C panel. It's dumb. And Colonel Soul's also really good because you can put obstacles and turn to soldiers.
Which we all
when
know
enemies,
about Colonel Wars.
Yeah, win.
Yeah, the I-Win chip.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. It's very unbalanced.
It is. And that
I feel like
that's just another notch on the negative side of Battle Network 5.
I feel like 4 lean better in one way to the other. Like, I would say Red Sun had a better variety of souls than Blue Moon. But Blue Moon had Junk Soul to back it up.
Yeah, I mean...
But then again, that also reflects, hey, Junk Soul was with Proto Man.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, no. So that shows his Proto Man just has garbage souls.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, really. But,
yeah.
You know, there's nothing we can do about it now.
Whereas Red Sun got what? Wind Soul, Surge Soul.
Roll.
Even Roll Soul. God, Roll Soul.
Delete chips forever.
Haha. Nice chip, nerd. Boink. But yeah, it's not very. It's not level at all. It's.
There wasn't.
That's why I feel. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not anything that even really like changed. It's just they just put the wrong souls in the wrong games.
Basically, like this is one of the reasons I wish you could cross over your souls, sort of.
I feel like that would make it better, actually. I think it would.
So instead of that, though, so this is all in the base games. That's all fine and dandy. We didn't touch on Double Team DS yet.
There are a lot of changes. So Double Team DS is basically...
First off, is on the DS.
It is, of course. It's essentially... I hazard to call it like a remaster.
It's the definitive.
It is, because it combined both of the GBA versions into a single game, which was great. And it also took advantage of a lot of DS features. Now, bear in mind, Double Team DS came out towards the later part of the original DS's life cycle. It's like the DSi was on the horizon, I think.
Yes. No, it was.
And so you had we basically have a laundry list of changes here. So let's go down this list.
All right. Let's see. Adds the gate function of having the ability to change navis in battle after unlocking them via the bottom screen.
So this kind of takes advantage of the fact that there are so many navis in this godforsaken game that you're able to switch to them in normal battles, which is
friendly
good.
navis.
Friendly navis, mind you. Which is not bad, but you play... I get really tired of playing as those stupid navis in the Liberation missions. Why in the blazes would I want to get myself outside of battle?
And when we played this the other week, I feel like it draws out battles, and it feels really awkward when you fight with them. Because it's not Mega Man, you're not used to the shots, you're not used to how they do things.
Boulder's not catering to it.
No, not at all. It's like, oh, but wait, you get one special chip for using them once. It's like, oh, okay, I get an in chip from Napalm Man. I'm sorry, Multanic Man.
Oh no, stop.
I'll never forget Multanic Man.exe. But it's an interesting thing, but it feels clunky. It's kind of awkward when you're actually PvPing, and it draws out the fight because now you have to go through another 2 Navis.
Yeah.
It's not just the 2500 Mega Man, it's also you got the 600 here, the 500 there, and it's just, ugh.
Not to mention they all have their own individualized separate Navi customizer. In kind of
yes!
It's really weird.
And it's not even as big as yours.
No, not at all.
Oh, this was like the weird Navi customizer too in 5.
Yeah.
Because, again, it was that in between, before we could do the amazing things in 6 of putting stuff off the grid, you still had that really,
The parts, the uncompressed Navi cust parts in this game are massive.
Yes.
They are absolutely huge. Like, I don't know. It's really difficult to get to the wacky HP numbers of Battle Network 6, but I think that kind of really hurts the game long term.
Okay, so, I'm sorry. To back that up, you can only change between your Navis 3 times, unless you add more parts via Navi Customizer parts. There's voice acting in this game.
Football! Yeah,
Jackin! Mega Man!
So Lan sounds like a 40-year-old smoker. And,
Let's do it, Lan.
And Mega Man sounds like an 80s surfer dude. And, yeah, you are worthy.
Oh, yeah, then Colonel has a very bad Russian accent.
You are skilled.
Way to go, Lan.
I will say that it's a nice touch, to its credit.
Did you know that, you say he sounds like a 40-year-old smoker, Lan has the same voice as MegaMasterX.
I do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who has the same voice as Domon Kashu.
I don't know.
I forget.
You get a voice line, a unique voice line every time you do a program advance, which is kind of cool. It's program
every time
advance.
You go
Football.
Every time you come out of the custom screen, every time you jack in, every time you hit the button for a hint,
what is it? I don't know. There's a lot of really.
What's going on, Lan?
Yeah.
What is it, Lan Hikari?
You are worthy. Touchscreen controls is sort of, you could jack in through that. The menu is on the bottom, and I didn't like it.
They changed. All right, so the one thing I don't like about it is the folder editing. The folder editing with the touchscreen is the worst because you only have visibility on 3 chips at a time for your folder and your pack. It's atrocious.
And it always confused me looking back because, again, they're on the same screen. You have to drag down, then drag up, scroll over, drag down, drag. And it's the worst thing. It's like, why can't I just have like a list?
Yeah.
On the top.
Star Force did it right for sure.
Ooh, whoa! Are you cursing on the podcast?
I mean, you did. Why can't I? Wow. But yeah, I don't know. There's a map in the overworld that you can use, which I guess is kind of handy if you continuously get lost.
I don't know how.
I don't either, but on the bright side, you don't have to buy the Brady Games trademark strategy guide.
Why wouldn't you? It's got all the cool tips and tricks in it.
I actually have that strategy guide. It's one of the only ones that I own.
You would.
Yeah.
This is kind of a really bad thing that they added. So, in order to commemorate this delightful DS version, they added 2 more secret chips to it in the form of Leader's Raid and Chaos Lord, which are in R and X, respectively.
Again, playing into the literal worst alphabet soup of any Battle Network game ever. 2 very awkwardly coded chips.
R, not so much. X, I think it was the only X chip, actually.
I think so, too.
So, Leader R was, or Leader R, if you
Leader's
want.
Raid was what it,
Yeah,
what it was.
Leader R. 200 damage, and Proto Man and Colonel attack together. That's all good and dandy. Chaos Lord, though. Ooh, okay, so 500 damage. Base shows up, and he just blasts your opponent's side of the field. That's it.
Yep.
Like, the entire thing. And it cracks all the panels, gets rid of objects, and it's a time freeze.
Yeah. Which you can't dodge it, you just have to eat it. In a game where your HP struggles to go above 2,500, it's pretty crazy.
You have to eat 500 damage.
Yep. It is truly the double beast of that installment.
So, here's where the game shines, though. Remix battle themes. If you have the original game in the GBA slot.
That was pretty nice, and like I said, this game came out towards the end of the original DS's life cycle, so it made use of the lock-on tech. Wait, that's Sega.
What?
But yeah, it was pretty nice. So the battle remixes for the OG games, that's 1 through 4, and
0.5.
Real Operation. Yeah.
I always like putting in 4 because I really like the virus busting theme for that.
You did get Soul Cross and Base Cross if you had Boktai 2 or your Proto Man or your GBA Battle Network 5 game. Proto Man gave you gold Base Cross, and
one.
Silver gave you or Colonel gave you silver.
Yeah, gold was the better one.
Of course, you had to also unlock the base icon in that cart, so you basically, if you wanted to get Base Cross, technically you have to beat the game twice.
Yeah, you have to buy the game twice, too. It's
Exactly.
just like, But if you got it, you were pretty busted from the start.
Oh, yeah, especially because gold gives you Hell's Rolling.
And it looks cooler, yeah.
For sure. Silver we don't talk about silver.
Nah.
Don't worry about it.
Let's see. Okay. So gold version gave you null element, no weakness, mega folder -2, triple buster, HP plus 200, super armor, buster rake.
That's basically yeah.
The silver one though gives you null element, no mega folder, triple buster, HP plus 20%, float shoes, and Hell's Rolling. So they give Hell's Rolling to the silver one.
That's right. It's
to offset it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, 20%, but that's not really a lot when your HP doesn't really go up a lot.
No.
So, and it says it right here, gold focuses on fast and dominating attacks, silver focuses on raw and powerful strikes. And again, these both show up in the movie as a promotion. Buy the older games, beat them, and then buy the new game so you can play as this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like you said, BN5 is the marketing game.
Yes. Oh. We forgot. I'll bring this up at the end, though.
Okay.
Alright, so you got the 3D sprites at the bottom of whatever Navi you have on you. So, like Proto Man, Colonel, Mega Man, when you're using them respectively.
LAN has a 3D model in the game files, as well as LAN's room has a full 3D model in this as well.
You think they were just testing?
I think there were, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. The transport chip. Okay, so this is the closest thing to crossing over we have. It allows the Navi to change to their opposite version counterparts. So like if you have Shadow Man, use a transport chip, you get Gyro Man.
But it doesn't really make sense if you think about it. Because at this point in the story, like, you're using a transport chip and just getting a Navi you've technically never met.
Yeah. Yeah, we went over this. It's a badly story-driven game, but man, marketing. Woo.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you can only use the transport chip 3 times per liberation mission.
The entire mission, mind you.
Yeah.
So
that's basically the games, but there is one thing I wanted to touch on. And we do this every episode, it's the manga counterpart.
Yeah.
And how well this transitions from 4 into 5. Because it's only a few pages.
It is. It goes by extremely quick. I mean, there's a little bit of kind of cross-pollination between the two in the manga volumes.
Oh yeah. Well, 3, 4, and 5 kind of all hit together, sort of deal. So, like, 3, the dark energy is gathering. Alpha is materializing in the real world. All this garbage. Darkman is there. He has a Dark Lloyd, which is a term from 4. I'm sorry, term from 5, right?
Yeah, it is.
And he beats them, but then the dark energy is there, and it's opened up a parallel dimension where Dark Lloyds exist, and they're leaking over into our world. And Dark Mega Man exists there too because he has a dark counterpart. Laser Man comes out. All this stuff. I think Cosmo Man and everyone is there too. Because they have it all as one thing, yeah. Mega Man can't beat him. Base is also under duress because they want his power. Double Soul isn't strong enough. And so Dark Mega eats Laser Man?
Yeah, so the manga did a very good job. Ryo Tamasaki and the team that did the Mega Man manga did a really good job of making Dark Mega Man a disgusting villain.
Yeah, like, he is just... you hate him. As soon as he hits the screen, you absolutely hate him. His facial expressions, the way he does things.
Constantly smug. He sticks his tongue out in certain parts. Like, he... I don't know. It paints it really well. Yeah, he does. He literally rips Navis apart.
Yeah.
And he's a very formidable foe, for sure.
For some reason.
But I mean, he just kind of disappears after he gets overpowered.
Well, no. Like, because this happens, and they're trying to take... because they want to... he wants to fuse with Base, who is the ultimate dark being in that reality. Mm-hmm. But Mega Man won't let him. Blah, blah, blah. So to delete Mega Man, he eats Laser Man. Mega Man gets messed up. Base sees this, and just like in the movie, he uses his Get-Ability program, and they fuse together for Base Cross.
Which was the coolest part of the manga. One of the coolest parts.
Oh, yeah. Other than maybe, like, Hub Style, I guess.
Well, Hub Style going crazy... well, no, it was the Beast Out that went crazy in volume, like, 9 or 10. I don't know. I feel like Base Cross was kind of... it got a lot of... not even book time. What's the parallel to
panel
time? Panel time, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
It got a lot of really good panel time. A few really good full-page fight scenes with Base Cross. And
where he just overwhelms Dark Mega and just blows him apart.
Yeah. And then I disagree with what happens afterwards, though. And of course, we can go on a tangent on our manga episode as well. But Base almost becomes
a friend.
Passive?
Yeah, he just like, oh, okay.
He just kind of gives up after that. You know, like, the manga spends so long building up this conflict. This Base being basically the Goku of the series, constantly wanting to fight, to prove himself, to best an enemy. And then he just doesn't. He just stops. He kicks back on a nice net beach with a nice net mojito and just sips it. And that's it. That's really it.
I'm sorry. Base Cross Mega Man also tries to delete Nebula Gray, but the friends are in the belly.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then that's where they introduce... okay, so Base Cross Mega Man somehow isn't... no, he's strong enough to do it, but Mega Man doesn't want to delete his friends, and he takes too much damage, and they split apart.
Yeah.
Because they can't contain the power of both of them. And then they introduce 6 in that the Cyber Beast gives him power. Because he's like, I need a power! Something! And it just pops into him.
Yeah, he effectively just thinks really hard and then suddenly Cyber Beasts. I don't agree with it. But like I said, we can really dive into that deeply on our manga episode because
perhaps on the next episode.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't like Battle Network 5.
It just doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth when you come off of like all the other Mega Man, even 4 to an extent. Because 4 was weak.
At least it had a cohesive library. Like I said, the chip library is the one thing that you're going to be interacting probably with the most. It makes or breaks Liberation missions. The rate in which you gain chips in Battle Network 5 is atrocious.
Oh god, yeah.
The drop rates are just terrible. I don't know. It's for such a core part of the game, it feels like they really didn't pay attention to it.
I like the designs. I like that the DS version gives you a lot more options.
I like the viruses.
The viruses are pretty cool, actually.
The big version, the bulky versions of them, really nice.
There's a I hate to do this to you. There's a piece in the complete artworks.
I wouldn't know.
I'll have to show it to you, I guess. And it compares like the regular Swordy and then like the dark version of it, and it looks just like it, but it looks like it's just warped. It's different in enough of a way.
Mm-hmm.
The areas are nice. You get Gridman in this, which is amazing. Yeah, Mr. Famous is back with Gridman, an actual footballer. American football.
Football.
Other than that, the minigames are real. Whatever liberation missions can go away. Meh. I don't know why Shade Man comes back. Power of Darkness? Question mark. Why doesn't that just bring Laser Man back then?
Yeah, I mean they tried.
At least he had a cool design.
But I kind of feel like either the budget wasn't there, based off of all the cut content, like the wireless adapter. I feel like this game was just kind of rushed.
Which game had the Boktai crossover?
4. Wait,
Okay.
crossover battle mode or the story crossover?
Crossover battle.
I believe I know 6 did.
Then it must have been 6. Okay, because we played that and I was just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah,
But
6 has crossover mode.
Yeah, this one doesn't, unfortunately. But this is. Did this one have a mod card accessibility? They take that out after 4.
It was just 4 and 6.
Wow, 5 really did get shafted, man.
Good, across the board. That's why I'm like, I really feel like it was either rushed or way over budget.
It's weird because this is like the marketing game. We're going to sell the toys, we're going to sell the accessories, we're going to sell the movie, we're going to sell the anime, but we're going to take features out.
It just didn't make for a good game. It's unfortunate too, but at least it set the stage for the best installment of the Mega Man Battle Network series, which we will discuss on the next episode of Net Saviors Podcast.
We already did an episode on Battle Network 3, though.
Listen.
And Battle Chip Challenge.
Fair. What else is there? 6, I guess?
No one talks about that garbage game.
It's so terrible. Anyway.
Oh, what was I going to say, though?
Oh.
You almost made me forget. Yeah, jerk. Oh, 5 did have one redeeming thing. Wireless multiplayer.
For the DS.
Yeah, for the DS. Because it was on the DS, it had Wi-Fi.
It did. Which was good. I mean, of course...
That was it.
I mean, like I said earlier, it was planned to be in there for the GBA release, but it was cut. The only thing that remains in the game is the menu for it, which we've had a few people in the M1 Grand Prix community try to MegaMaster specifically. I think Professor 9 tried too, but they tried to like hack it back in, and it just doesn't work. Like it's almost as if the feature was just completely incomplete.
Why? Like, that makes no sense. Oh man, here's this thing. It's been out. Pokemon uses it. Yeah, but
I'll bet the issue was probably performance.
I disagree. I think the issue was they knew they were going to pump out Double Team DS.
That's not wrong, because Battle Network 5 kind of came around right before when the Nintendo DS dropped, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Quite a bit of sense.
That's fine. Let me get an exact date here, because... Okay. Let's see. Battle Network 5, December 9th, 2004. Let's see. In Japan, in the US, June 21st, 2005, and November 1st, 2005 on the DS.
Okay.
And the Nintendo DS dropped on November 21st, 2004.
2004. So they released Battle Network while the DS was in circulation.
Yes. They released the first one in its infancy. And then they waited a year and put out the next one. They knew. They knew.
They did. I don't know, dude. It's Battle Network 5. I have good memories of playing it the first time.
I like the designs of things.
Yeah, the viruses were great.
I like the chips if they're just, like... That's one of the things I've always wanted to do. I just want to go back, look at the game, and be like, what happens if we just, like, took ideas from 6 and 4 and everything else and condensed these libraries down? What if Time Bomb was just one thing? What if Mark Cannon was just one thing? Why do we need 3 Mark Cannons? They're all garbage.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're only there so you can search Soul. Let's be completely real.
They're very easy to dodge, too, in combat. But yeah.
Just walk forward.
Exactly. But yeah, that's I think that's going to be good for BN5.
Oh, yeah. Almost an hour and a half, yeah, I'd say so.
A lot of potential. Didn't execute well on any of it.
No, not at all.
So,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Alright, so now... Yeah,
let's
MegaMasterX.
Let's go ahead and wrap up. Where can people find you?
Nowhere. I'm a ghost now. So you can find me on here, of course, on the YouTube where we post this. I'm also on Twitter at trainer_Adell, Twitch at tactical_network. MegaMasterX, as always, is... I'm not going to make the joke as usual.
Thank you.
I'm so tempted. You can find him on Twitter and Twitch at MegaMasterX, because he made sure to get that name as quickly as possible.
On everything that I can think of.
Except for one platform.
Okay.
Also find us on Discord, which I will link in the bottom. The CM1 Grand Prix Discord. Everyone there is really... Well, let's go with most everyone there is really cool. Very competitive, very helpful community.
Just Google it, Lan.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a link in the description down below.
Yes. So, that's gonna do it for this episode. Next time, we have a lot to talk about next time.
Well, actually, next time there's going to be an in-between episode because there's a meetup coming soon where we're going to do a BN6 live episode.
Yep.
And but I don't want to wait a whole month to put out something again like this one.
Oh no.
So MegaMasterX and I are going to plan something as a little in-between. Maybe talk about the toys, maybe the manga, maybe both.
Yeah, that would actually probably be really good. But
not the anime yet. I don't have enough time in the...
We probably have to rewatch the anime, probably together.
I have it all.
Yeah, same here, so we could totally do that.
Is it the 47 gigs?
Yeah. Let's get a community rabbit, like M1 Grand Prix community watch along. Yeah.
There's so many episodes.
There are. I don't know. But okay. Well, that's going to do it for me. I'm MegaMasterX.
Yeah. Alright, friends. Until next time, keep busting those viruses.
Jack out.
Transcode! Mega Man!
And...
A big thank you to Kokiremix for the music used in this episode. If you'd like to hear more, be sure to check out their YouTube at Kokiremix.